Imagine this: a sudden worldwide event that convinces billions of people a higher power has arrived, or that aliens have finally made contact. But what if it's all an illusion? Project Bluebeam is a theory that claims NASA and the United Nations are secretly working together to stage a massive global deception. The goal? To usher in a new world order by faking an apocalyptic religious event, using advanced holographic technology, mind control, and manufactured disasters. But where did this idea come from?
The theory originated in the 1990s, when a Canadian journalist named Serge Monast published a shocking report. He claimed that the world's elites had developed a four-step plan to manipulate humanity into global submission. According to Monast, this plan would involve massive 3D projections in the sky, fake miracles, and even simulated alien invasions. Most dismissed it as paranoia. But others wondered, what if there's a grain of truth in all this? Serge Monast wasn't just a random conspiracy theorist. He was a journalist with a background in investigative reporting. In 1994, he published a document titled Project Bluebeam, NASA, where he laid out his chilling claims. He believed world governments, in cooperation with powerful elites, were planning to dissolve national boundaries, end traditional religions, and install a single global dictatorship. The scariest part? Monast said this plan was already in motion.
Shortly after releasing his report, Monast claimed he was being watched, harassed, and threatened. In 1996, he suddenly died of a heart attack, at the age of just 51. His supporters saw this as proof that he was silenced. To this day, the mysterious circumstances of his death are cited by believers as evidence that Project Bluebeam is more than just a wild theory. But what exactly are the steps of this plan? The first phase of Project Bluebeam, according to Monast, is all about rewriting history. Literally, governments and scientists would begin to challenge archaeological discoveries and spiritual beliefs. The goal? To shake people's faith in religion, science, and everything they thought was true. Ancient texts would be reinterpreted, artifacts debunked, and new discoveries planted to undermine the core of religious doctrines.
Imagine headlines claiming Jesus never existed, or that alien civilizations were the true creators of humanity. The idea is to destabilize traditional worldviews and create a spiritual vacuum. Once people lose trust in their religions, they become more susceptible to a new belief system, one that will soon be projected into the skies above them. In the second phase, the skies become the stage. Using advanced holographic technology, enormous 3D projections would appear over major cities around the world, tailored to each culture's dominant religion. Jesus, Buddha, Allah, even ancient gods. These deities would speak in every language, merging into one universal figure. The message? All religions were wrong. There is only one truth, and one leader.
This isn't science fiction. Monast believed NASA already had satellites equipped to project these images directly into the ionosphere, creating incredibly realistic illusions. Paired with sound transmissions that could be heard inside people's heads, thanks to low-frequency technology, the experience would feel deeply personal and divine. It wouldn't just be seen, it would be felt, and millions would believe. Now that the world has seen their gods, the third step dives deeper, into the mind. This phase involves direct mind control. Monast claimed that advanced electromagnetic waves would be used to send messages directly into people's brains, convincing them that a higher power is speaking to them personally. This would create mass psychological manipulation on a scale never seen before.
The goal is obedience, absolute and unquestioning. With thoughts that don't feel like your own, people would begin to hear voices, experience divine revelations, and fall into line. The fear, awe, and confusion would be overwhelming. And as chaos spreads, the world would be primed for the final step, the arrival of the Savior. In the final phase, Monast believed the world would experience a cataclysmic event, an alien invasion or a world-ending disaster, staged with unprecedented realism. Holograms, augmented by sophisticated technology, would create massive UFOs in the sky, simulating an attack on Earth. This would push humanity to the brink, causing widespread panic, fear, and confusion. The world would be desperate for a solution.
Then, at the height of the chaos, a charismatic leader would appear, claimed to be the savior who could save the world. This leader would unite the masses under a single global government with promises of peace and stability. But it would come at a price: total control. Those who resist would be labeled enemies of the New World Order, and humanity would enter a dark new era, one that no one could ever escape. If Project Bluebeam were ever executed, the global reaction could be catastrophic. Billions of people would witness what they believed to be the return of their gods or an alien invasion. For many, it would feel like the ultimate revelation, a confirmation of everything they've been taught to expect. Religious groups, governments, and world leaders would struggle to keep control of the narrative. But some would resist, rejecting the false reality imposed upon them.
In a world where faith, trust, and belief have been manipulated, the lines between truth and fiction would blur. For those who see through the illusion, the realization would be terrifying. How many would recognize the deception, and how many would simply accept it? The outcome could be a divided world, one where truth no longer matters, and everyone is forced to choose: live in the manufactured reality or rebel against it. Could such a plan really be possible? According to Monist and others, the technology already exists or is being developed. Holographic projections, electromagnetic waves, and mind control techniques have advanced far beyond what the public knows. Monist claimed that NASA had the technology to project 3D images directly into the sky using satellites. These holograms could be so realistic that even the most rational individuals would be fooled. But that's not all. There's also the possibility of advanced mind control technologies that could manipulate thoughts and actions.
The U.S. military, for example, has experimented with low-frequency waves that can alter brain activity, something referred to as voice-to-skull technology. This allows the manipulation of thoughts, emotions, and even perception. Imagine being convinced, in an instant, that you're hearing the voice of a divine being, or that you're about to be attacked by aliens. The sheer power of such technology could make Project Bluebeam's plan a terrifying reality, not just a conspiracy theory. If Project Bluebeam is more than just a theory, who would stand up against it? Could there be any way to expose the truth before it's too late? Some believe that independent journalists, whistleblowers, and hackers could be the key to exposing the project. They could leak classified information or expose the true scale of the operation. The challenge would be immense. In a world where media, governments, and corporations could be part of the deception, getting the truth out would be an uphill battle. But there are always those who fight to protect the truth.
Activists, truth seekers, and even religious groups might come together to form a resistance. However, the system behind Project Bluebeam is designed to silence any form of opposition. With all major platforms being controlled by a global elite, spreading the truth would require more than just a few brave individuals. It would take a global effort, and even then, the influence of the illusion would be overwhelming. Still, some would never give up, even in the face of such a massive deception. The question is, could humanity rise up in time, or would we fall into this new world order without realizing it? As we reach the end of this hypothetical scenario, one question remains. What would the future of humanity look like if Project Bluebeam were to succeed? Would we enter a new age of peace and unity, as promised by the so-called savior? Or would this be the beginning of a dark era, where free will is stripped away, and we become mere pawns in a global game of control? The choice, if there is one, may not be up to us. But what we do know is that the technologies described in this conspiracy theory are not just fantasy. They're real, and they're being developed right now.
Whether Project Bluebeam is a reality or just an elaborate conspiracy theory, it serves as a chilling reminder of what can happen when power is concentrated in the wrong hands. The implications of such a plan, should it ever be attempted, would be devastating, not just for our physical freedom, but for our very humanity. As we continue to navigate the complexities of modern life, we must remain vigilant, question what we're told, and be aware of the world around us. Because the future of humanity may be decided by what we choose to believe.